Here's some opinions I have. On the 21st of June, the leader of the United States decided that he was going to bomb Iran. Now, the interesting thing is, we didn't have adversarial relationships with them. I mean, we didn't, they had signed a no nuclear development thing under Biden, and I think, well, it was also Obama and everything. So it's been pretty quiet, but the toxic turd is so involved with the Israeli prime minister that he decided, apparently, we are going to get Iran, and maybe we'll get, more land for another hotel. But the issues here are not so much that he bombed them. It's the thing that I've been warning people about. Okay, the big parade, which he was very disappointed in. We Americans just didn't really show up to kiss his ass, and never will, those of us that believe he doesn't belong there. He's a multi-level criminal. He's bankrupt so many places it's unreal. But my biggest concern, as I've told people over the last few years since I've been paying attention to him, be careful of what he creates, the chaos he creates up front, because there's stuff going on in the background that none of us are being told about. Well, one of them is the impact it's going to have on those that have Social Security. Whether you're a retiree, whether you're somebody on disability, whether you're a family member on Social Security because of a partner, your husband or your wife or, whatever it's going to be. But this thing that gets me is the cost it took to send these 3 planes over with these 3 bombs. They were saying they were going to clean the budget of all fraud, so they were cutting out SNAP and they're cutting out Medicaid. The amount of money that was wasted on that and that ridiculous parade, the parade would have been fine if it was just for the U.S. Army, okay? Yeah, granted, they're 250 years old. They deserve that, but when he wanted it for himself, nah. And I'm really impressed at how the Army actually quietly resisted him. But my biggest concern for most of the people here is that everybody's going to get all hot and bothered, but, for those who voted for him, this is on you. But the other group it's on is those that did not vote. And like we in Michigan have a large Arab community, and they wanted to punish Biden because of what was going on with Israel and Pakistan. And instead of actually investigating it, they believed Mr. Cheeto Head. And, and they said that they were either going to vote for him or not vote at all. Here's the thing. He didn't really win by anything. I mean, it was the vote was a third because there was so many that didn't bother to vote. Now, granted, I know people didn't like the fact that the Democrats pulled things together fast, but at least they pulled them together. And yeah, Biden had been sick. The man had COVID. He had just had he had broke his foot earlier in his when he became president. And yeah, he was getting older, but they're only a couple of years apart in age. And at least Biden had the knowledge of how to work with foreign countries. How many times have we in this country threatened our 2 border countries? I don't think this man understands we're the monkey in the middle. I mean, my God. You don't just go after Mexico and Canada and don't think we're going to pay, we citizens are going to pay a price. And then, like the head of China said, hey, listen, we've been a country for thousands of years. You've only been it for 250. We can wait. So the issue is he wants manufacturing here, but we gave it all away because the corporations were given great deals by the government, and so they shipped all their stuff to China, Vietnam, Thailand, other countries that pay a penny on the dollar for wages. And the American public is selfish and greedy, and they want everything cheap. So we got what we wanted as Americans. We got it cheap. We got it, you know, farmed out. We got rid of manufacturing. We got rid of the yarn mills and everything in the Carolinas. We got rid of the fabric mills. We got rid of making cars. I mean, back when Reagan came in, is when Ford started shipping. They started building cars in Mexico. GM started building cars in Mexico. I mean, there's two foreign car companies that are actually making more here in the U.S. than all the other countries. We're in deep. We're watching the edge of World War III occurring. And you know, if anybody would study their history, they'd realize that the racism, the misogyny, all the other negative terms that are out there, that we're responsible for that as a public. We've done this. Nobody did it to us. And we are now officially not being supported by other countries that since World War II, we had been, like we did the G7, we've been in NATO and all this. But they don't want to be blowing their people up because you have an immature toddler in the White House with Musk, who has come back kissing ass, and with Miller, who has said that he wants to have a world order of white only, so he wants to produce as many white children, and that's what Musk is doing. I'm sorry, this country was not founded by whites. This country was indigenous before we even got here. So if anybody needs to leave, it's everybody who came in on the coast. Because my husband and my mom, we would laugh about it. My family were some of the Mayflower people. And my husband said, yep, you came over on the Mayflower and my people met the boat. So when all these self-righteous Trumpers, MAGAs say, oh, only whites should be here. Are you out picking the corn? Are you out picking the berries? And are you out farming the land? Because guess what? With all these so-called ICE things and everything, the only thing they've done is remove legitimate. I mean, there's hardly anybody that's been criminal, but they have removed legitimate workers. And by the way, the idiot in the White House, he hired illegal immigrants because he knew he didn't have to pay taxes. He was a slum landlord and his father they got sued for it. But the point is, he has known how to use the law against innocent people. And granted, there's some bad people that came in. I mean, look at him and his family. I mean, his father, he's been associated with even being at a KKK meeting. His grandfather he skipped Germany so he wouldn't have to serve. And then he got kicked out of the U.S. because he was running brothels. And he went to Germany with money thinking he wouldn't have to serve. They took the money and kicked him back. So he snuck into the country. His mother came in from Scotland illegally, had to go back and come back again. So does that make him an anchor baby? Because he wants to get rid of that. So if that's the case, then he's not a U.S. citizen. It's pretty simple. I mean, when you look at it, it's pretty simple. If he's not a U.S. citizen, then what's he doing in the White House? Because, even Melania didn't get citizenship till after Barron was born. So, based on that, I mean, when you think about it, if you really want to go back and you want to do your history, you're going to find out if we had to follow that rule that he wants to put in place where, no birth citizenship, there isn't going to be many people here that are white. Nope. Because don't forget, the Mexican what they're calling Mexico. We took New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, California from them. So they were indigenous. We weren't. It was the whites that took it. You know, my when I did my genealogy, my poor husband was Odawa, and he said, "Oh my!" I said, "Yep, I'm so white I glow in the dark, and I can't apologize more for that." And he said, "No," but he said, your brothers and your father and your mother and your grandparents and great grandparents, they did fight for the country. They did honorable things. That's not happening now. No, the thing that he wants is money. He's got crypto, he's got all his buildings he's planning on. I think he even made the guy in Russia nervous, Putin, when he put those bombs over in Iran, because Putin was kind of buddy buddy. So I he has really caused a lot of trouble, and we Americans are going to pay a one hell of a price. So it's on you, folks. It's on the ones that didn't vote, and it's on all of those that did vote for him. And you're going to be the first ones that cry, pity poor me. I want my Medicaid. I want my Medicare. I want my food stamps. I want my free school. I want all this and that. And you're not going to have it. It's not going to be there. And you know what? We're not even going to have a constitution if they get their way. And I'm going to tell you something. The Supreme Court is responsible for a lot of this, because they figure they can get away with anything now because the Supreme Court gave him power. So, you know, we did this to ourselves. We don't have anybody to blame but ourselves. We made our choices. The lack of education in this country is appalling, and it has made what's happening to us very, very bad.